We all remember COVID, the masks, the lockdowns, the fear, the hospitals, the empty streets. But what if it ended differently? What if COVID never became manageable? What if it mutated again? Not to attack your lungs, but to control your mind. This is not what happened. This is a fictional nightmare. But it starts with something real. A virus the world already feared. A world already tired. A society already divided. And then COVID changes. Not into another wave, not into another lockdown, into something that reaches the brain, something that changes behavior, something that makes infected people spread it without knowing why. And at first, nobody realizes the rules have changed. It starts like another wave. A new COVID variant appears. At first, nobody panics. The world has seen variants before. Governments release warnings. Experts ask for caution. News channels sound concerned, but people are tired. Tired of masks, tired of rules, tired of fear. Some listen carefully, others roll their eyes. Online, everyone argues again. Some call it dangerous. Some call it exaggerated. Some say they are done caring, and at first, the symptoms seem familiar. Fever, coughing, weakness, headaches, body pain, confusion, nothing that feels apocalyptic, nothing that screams catastrophe. Doctors treat it like illness. Families treat it like stress. Workers keep going. Students keep attending class. People stay home for a few days, then come back outside. But then something changes. Small things at first. Things easy to ignore. A man stops sleeping. A woman forgets her own street. A child stares at a wall. Someone repeats one sentence again and again and again. People laugh nervously. They blame the fever. They blame exhaustion. They blame panic. But hospitals notice a pattern. Patients are awake. Patients are breathing. Patients can speak. But something feels missing. They are alive, but not fully themselves. And the real danger is not the body. It is choice. The first infected do not look monstrous. They look tired. They look pale. They look confused. They look like anyone sick. That is what makes it terrifying. You do not run from them. You try to help them. You ask if they are okay. You move closer. And that is the mistake. Some stop answering their names. Some hear voices but do not react. Some walk toward noise, not with curiosity, not with panic, like something is pulling them. Others become strangely calm, too calm. They do not fear danger. They do not avoid pain. They stand in traffic. They walk into crowds. They touch strangers. And then another symptom appears. Separation makes them angry. Isolation makes them desperate. Locked doors make them violent. Nurses try to calm them. Families try to hold them. Police try to contain them. But the infected resist. Not like criminals. Not like monsters. Like people trapped inside impulses. Doctors begin comparing cases. The same patterns repeat. They move toward groups. They hate being alone. They become restless in silence. They react strongly to voices. They follow movement. They crowd together. And this is where the world fails. It treats the mutation normally, like another respiratory wave. But it is no longer normal. It is entering the nervous system. It is touching the brain. And worse, the infected still sound human. They still say your name. They still ask for help. They still cry. So people hesitate. And hesitation gives the virus time. It is using guilt. It is using human weakness. And this is where the pandemic becomes something else. In this fictional scenario, the virus enters like COVID, through breath, through contact, through closeness. But later, it changes direction. It moves deeper. It reaches the brain, not instantly, not dramatically at first, slowly, quietly. It interferes with impulses. It bends fear. It clouds memory. It weakens decision-making. The infected still walk. They still talk. They still open doors. They still recognize faces for a while. That is the trap. They seem almost normal, but their choices change. They stop avoiding danger. They stop protecting distance. They seek crowds. They approach voices. They resist quarantine. They say they are fine. Some believe it. Some hide symptoms without understanding why. Some beg to leave. Some cry behind glass. Some promise they are better. And sometimes they almost sound convincing. That breaks families. Because how do you refuse them? How do you lock a door? How do you abandon someone you love? But then something worse begins. The virus does not only control thoughts, it starts controlling the body. Small movements change first. Hands twitch, necks stiffen, eyes stop focusing correctly. Breathing becomes uneven. At first, doctors call it neurological damage. Then they call it muscular reaction. Then they stop knowing what to call it because the infected are not just confused anymore. Their bodies are obeying something else. Some move toward people without thinking. Some grab anyone who gets close. Some scratch at doors. Some bite when restrained, not like wild animals, not like monsters, like humans being driven by an infected instinct. Governments realize too late. Isolation is harder now because infected people do not just resist quarantine, they fight it. Some become aggressive. Some become unpredictable. Some appear harmless. Until they are close enough, the virus is no longer spreading only biologically. It is using behavior. It is using touch. It is using panic. It is using love. It is using human weakness. And this is where the pandemic becomes something else. Then the first real outbreak happens, not in a rumor, not in a theory, in a hospital. A patient starts shaking. Doctors rush in. Then another patient shakes, then another. For a moment, it still looks controllable. Then one patient stands up, too fast, too suddenly. His eyes are open, but he does not look awake. A nurse says his name. He turns slowly, then he lunges forward. Security grabs him. He bites through a glove. Another patient hits a door. Another crawls toward a crowd. Someone screams. The corridor explodes into panic. Doors lock too late, and now everyone sees it. The infected are changing. Their skin looks colder. Their veins look darker. Their eyes look wrong. Their bodies twitch suddenly. Their movements are broken, but fast. Some still cry. Some still ask for help. Some still know your name, but their bodies obey something else. The footage spreads everywhere. Millions watch in silence. And one question takes over. If this happens in a hospital, what happens in the streets? Scientists begin tracking stages. Stage 1 looks normal. A cough, a headache, a tired face, a blank stare. People can still talk. They can still lie. They can still say they are okay. Stage 2 is harder to hide. Hands shake, eyes stop focusing, voices crack, sleep disappears. The infected react to sound. They turn toward movement. They stand too close. They stop understanding distance. Stage 3 changes the body. Skin becomes pale. Veins darken. The jaw tightens. The neck stiffens. The posture bends forward. Movements become sudden, wrong, unnatural. Then comes stage 4. The infected stop wandering. They start searching. They follow voices. They rush toward crowds. They hit doors. They climb barriers. They bite. They scratch. They grab anything alive. Not because they hate people, because the virus wants contact. Every touch becomes a risk. Every bite becomes a warning. Every crowded place becomes dangerous. And nobody changes at the same speed. Some take days, some take hours, some seem fine there until suddenly they are not. After that, cities change overnight. A supermarket becomes a prison. People hide between shelves. Someone coughs nearby. Nobody moves. A subway stops underground. One passenger starts twitching. Everyone hears scratching. An apartment building goes silent. One family locks itself inside, across the hallway. Someone keeps knocking, softly at first, then harder, then with both hands. Schools close again. Hospitals are surrounded. Emergency rooms become quarantine rooms. Quarantine rooms become danger zones. Some infected escape. Some are carried out. Some are never found again. The problem is not only the virus, it is the places humans built. Elevators, buses, classrooms, hallways, waiting rooms, places made for people to gather, become perfect places to spread. The world does not collapse at once. It collapses in small rooms. One locked door, one crowded train, one missed symptom, One person saying, B, I'm fine, then changing before anyone escapes. At first, attacks seem random, but they are not. The infected react to voices, to movement, to crowds, to anything alive nearby. They do not plan, they do not choose, but they move with purpose. A quiet infected can sit still, then sprint toward a sound. A weak infected can barely stand, then throw itself at a door. A familiar face can whisper your name, then bite when you come closer. This is what destroys hope. Love becomes dangerous. You hear your brother calling. You want to open the door. You hear your mother crying. You want to help. You see a child shaking. You want to run toward them. But the virus uses that. Their voice becomes bait. Their face becomes bait. Their pain becomes bait. Their body becomes a weapon. And once people understand this, the world becomes colder. But here's the worst part. The virus does not need everyone. It only needs enough. Enough infected to create panic. Enough attacks to empty streets. Enough transformations to break trust. Because then something else spreads. Not through breath. Not through blood. Through fear. People stop opening doors. They stop answering cries. They stop rescuing strangers. They stop trusting silence. Some abandon the sick too early. Some hide infections too long. Some attack people who are only scared. The virus controls the infected, but panic controls everyone else. That is the real collapse. Not when infected people change, but when healthy people change too. The virus changes bodies. Fear changes choices. Together, they break society from both sides. This is not what happened. COVID did not become this. This is only a fictional nightmare, but it starts with a real memory, a world afraid to breathe, a world locked behind doors, a world waiting for answers. And in this version, the question is darker. Could we survive a virus that controls the mind? Maybe. Could we survive watching people we love disappear? Maybe. But could we survive the fear after? That is harder. A virus can change the body. Fear can change a society. It can make us cruel. It can make us suspicious. It can make survival feel sacred and compassion feel dangerous. So if people around you changed, slowly, physically, violently, almost beyond recognition, how long would it take before you changed too?